At the outset of the project, our goal was somewhat nebulous. On a basic level, we shared the class standard of fundraising $100 per group member, or the equivalent thereof in volunteer work. During the first meeting, we came to two conclusions. We all generally disliked the idea of soliciting donations for fundraising, and we would enjoy a volunteering opportunity that would leverage our group's shared talents, as we are all information technology students. We decided that we would contact the Wishbone Animal Rescue Center and see if they would allow us to redesign their website. We put the website redesign down as our goal in order to have something to submit for our proposal. After some communication with the rescue center, we found that they already had someone working on a redesigned website, though our correspondent mentioned that they had some security cameras they needed installed. We agreed and changed our goal accordingly. The Wishbone Animal Rescue security camera installation became our final primary goal for the project.
Our group worked together with a lot of verbal communication and using Google Hangout for our meetings. A lot of non-verbal communication wasn't effective because of the limitations of the view through the cameras and the fact that not everyone had a webcam or microphone, at least at the start. For formal roles, we have Bob as leader and also Jenny, the recorder as Cameron, and all of us took the critical advisor position. For informal roles, task leader was Bob and Jenny, information provider was Bob, central negative were all the members, attention releaser all of the members of the group, and we didn't really have deviant roles. For maintenance and task roles, all of us were a compromiser, elaborator, encourager, and energizer. Information giver, it would be Bob. He did most of the communication between the Arthritis Foundation and Wishbone. All of us were information seekers, and everyone was an initiator. Doug and Bob were mostly the interpreters for the group, and everyone was the opinion giver and a seeker. The security cameras for Wishbone, we didn't have really much conflict, but it took us a little longer than we expected it to take. With an example of when we were trying to run the wires through, we needed communication from the floor above to the floor down below to feed it through the wires through the wall.
A common difficulty when doing group work is to decide when and how everybody would meet. It was obvious from the start that our group would not be able to conduct our meetings in person like most other groups could. Two of our members had to commute a significant distance to ISU. Jenny Lee drives from Champaign and Doug drives from Peoria. Additionally, Doug has children, which restricted his availability even more. Our solution was to use a Google Hangout and to conduct as many of our meetings virtually as we could. That way, everybody could communicate from wherever they happen to be. Google Hangout is a service that allows groups of people to talk together using webcams, and it also supports a text-based chat box. Most of our members just attended meetings from their homes, but there was also a few times where someone would log in from a computer lab or just an empty room on campus. Few of our members, mainly Jenny Lee, Bob, and Doug, were completely comfortable with the virtual meetings from the start. The rest of us took a little bit of time to warm up to the idea of being on camera and speaking through a microphone. Our first virtual meeting was very quiet and brief because of this. A couple of the group members did not even have webcams, and they had to use the text-based chat box to communicate. This was far from ideal, but it actually worked out well because two of our other group members kept a very careful eye on the chat box, and they brought their remarks to the attention of the rest of the group. By our third meeting, everybody had a webcam, and everybody felt comfortable using them.
In order to achieve our goal of $700 as a group, we used a combination of fundraising strategies. Our first project was to go to Wishbone's facility and install security cameras. This was hands down our largest project of the semester, achieving half of our goal by itself. Now, with half of our goal met, we had a decision to make. We weren't able to find another project that really captures our group's skills with technology. So we came to a consensus as a group that we would make up the remaining money by both volunteering for both Wishbone and the Arthritis Foundation, and visiting different businesses in downtown Bloomington and Normal, asking for donations.
In order to get the necessary amount of volunteer hours and to meet our project goals, one of the first things we did was install cameras for the Wishbone Canine Rescue's facility. We installed 6 security cameras, 2 on the main floor and 4 in the basement. It took us 5 hours to install the cameras, and because the cameras needed to be installed on multiple levels and in various rooms of the facility, it actually took quite a bit of ingenuity to try to figure out where to run the wires and how to run the wires. It really took a lot of problem-solving skills for us to set up these cameras. I've included some photographs from the build, and here's a short video of the cameras that were installed downstairs. Here's where we installed
like chunks coming out of it. It's
the
probably
cameras.
bags, of course. A lot of it gets stressed from pregnancy. It'll come out.
Each of the kennels. We got a few more over here. And then see, they face like the dog kennels so they can do security for the dogs. The Wine and Wishes fundraiser event was another volunteer project that some of us volunteered for. Not everyone in our group could volunteer for this particular event because you had to be 21 years or older in order to volunteer for the event because of the fact that wine was being served. But those of us who did were myself, Bob, and Doug. The event was to raise money for Wishbone Canine Rescue and to raise awareness of their organization. And the event included the 50-50 drawing, a silent auction, wine tasting, some food and entertainment. They had dogs there that were available to be adopted. And then they're raffling off a Mustang later this summer, and you had the opportunity to buy tickets for it, for the raffle at this particular event. This allowed us to get in some more hours that we needed. This also allowed us to get to know the Wishbone organization a bit better, which I found very fascinating. I didn't get many pictures of the event because I was so busy, but here's a couple of pictures of a very adorable dog. The last thing that we did before the Arthritis Foundation walk was to split up our group into 2 smaller groups and try to canvass businesses in the downtown Bloomington area for donations. The bad part about that was a lot of times when we encountered the businesses trying to get donations, the people who needed to make the decisions weren't there, or they had given their donation monies to other groups such as United Way already for the year. We did, however, talk to many different businesses, and we took business cards, and hopefully we have learned something very valuable about trying to get donations for a nonprofit organization through businesses. A lot of that Doug will talk about later in this presentation.
Hello, my name is Cameron Massey. On May 4th, 2013, the Arthritis Foundation had an event called the Arthritis Walk that was located in Bloomington, Illinois. The purpose of the walk is to improve lives through leadership in the prevention and the cure of arthritis and related diseases. As my group members and I arrived at the event, we saw many participants walking with their dogs. There were tents set up with groups of volunteers as well as adults giving away bags filled with information and supplies to help prevent arthritis. There were also massage tables set up for people who would like to have a massage. For a free massage, the workers would have you fill out the form that listed parts of your body that were sore. The massage booths were set up to help prevent soreness in the body that could lead to other problems. At 10:45 a.m., the 1 mile walk began. Most of the participants at the walk would take a lap around the pond that was located in the middle of the park. During this time, my group member Dan and I volunteers worked with the organization by walking around and asking participants located at the walk to sign a petition for the National Institute of Health to raise money to prevent arthritis in individuals. After the 1 mile walk, Olive Garden provided everyone with salad, spaghetti, and breast sticks. This gave everyone the chance to socialize and relax after walking a mile. As time passed, 3.5 mile walk began. During this time, the members of the Arthritis Walk concluded the event by announcing the winners of the groups that raised the most money, and they also announced the winners of the dogs that participated in the trick challenge. Group 14, also known as Geek Patrol, and I had taken pictures before we separated and leaving the Arthritis Foundation event.
As for advice for future groups, the best advice our group can offer is to start early and start fast. Opportunity for success starts to close with every month you hold off on doing something. Our group had certain ideas that couldn't happen, and we fell back on going door to door for donations besides the volunteer work we put in. The problem is that most of the bigger name and chain businesses have a set way of making donations that could take weeks or months to hear back from. We could have received donations had we started that process in the beginning, but since it was only a fallback plan, we were unable to rely on that method. We also noticed that the most generous donations were received from individuals that we met while trying to look for businesses. The very first store we walked into was a Dollar General, where we found an important-looking employee whom we asked to help support the Arthritis Foundation. She happened to be the district manager and gave us a story of applying online for corporate donations. Then she asked if she could donate personally. She gave us more of our donation money than we had received the entire time from just one check. Make sure when asking for donations, you word it in a way that you're not limited to corporate donations and any person can donate. The rest of our donations came from individuals. Many of the corporate offices we asked for donations were set up through United Way and were unable to help our cause. Small business owners would donate out of pocket. It is best not to waste your time with asking from bigger companies and target smaller local businesses when personally walking in. Go to the corporate websites first, then target the smaller businesses when meeting in person. A great way to ensure the amount of time you put into this project is equal in value is to volunteer. With this method, you are guaranteed to earn exactly what you put in. It really relieves the stress of raising money when 10 hours of work could equal nothing in return. Most of our group's project came from volunteering at 3 different events. The work was both fun and rewarding. As for meetings, Google Hangout is a great way to meet. If you aren't already on campus or don't have to go that day, you don't have to spend the time getting ready and going out. Google Hangout also has functionality to support combined work on a paper that is being edited by the entire group at one time. You are able to get all the information needed with less than half the effort. We were also able to achieve 100% attendance at all group meetings because of the flexibility.